right, what's going on, beautiful people? It's the North Shore 9 Postgame Show. I'm Tyler. With me is Doug. Doug, that was ugly.
Paul Skeens look good. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah,
that's a beautiful way to start this.
yeah. I mean, it's almost predictable. We come back against a good pitcher in Sonny Gray. I mean, if every time we faced a pitcher coming off the injured list, or a Patrick Corbin with an ERA of 8, they go 7 shutout against us. So Dallas Keuchel making his third start, having looked, coming in with an ERA of 9, hasn't pitched well in years. He looks like he's back in his Cy Young form. So, but yes, Wireless Grapes is right. Laz Diaz was a great participant in that. But he was just as bad for the Twins as well. So I don't want to get too hung up on that aspect of it. No offense, and we pitched okay, and Henry Davis didn't look good in right field. It's pretty much a standard script. We done this show before?
Yeah, a couple times.
Right.
So generally, I am not one that complains about umpires. I think they're bad. It is what it is.
Right.
I'm used to it at this point. That was honestly maybe the worst performance I've ever seen from an umpire.
It was terrible. I mean, stuff was
atrocious.
Right. The Pirates should have at least had a run, right? Bay, was 3-0, gets a ball. I mean, it was at his nose, it was inside, and strike. It was that was just one of the glaring examples. Again, he was terrible for both sides. But I don't understand.
So he missed a few calls that went in the Pirates' favor. It was far more in the Twins' favor today. And what I'll say about that is I think part of that is just because the Twins took advantage of it.
Yeah.
He was giving them off the plate. They stayed off the plate.
Right. Dallas Keuchel saw quickly, that he could throw it 3 inches off the plate. He could do the old Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine thing that they got away with the entire 90s. And right, he capitalized. He didn't throw anything near the plate for the rest of the performance and was getting called strikes. For some reason our guys, Beto still wanted to, throw it across the plate.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know how he would have been if the Pirates would have also tried to take advantage of where his zone was today, which was just awful. But the Twins just did, and the Pirates didn't. They sat on the about 2 inches off the plate, 3 inches. Hell, even a breaking ball that never even was close was getting called as a strike today. Just abysmal. Abysmal. He should be fired.
Yeah,
he's been bad all year. He's always in the news for being terrible.
Yeah, he's taken over for Angel Hernandez, I think, as
who is also behind the plate today and terrible.
Right. Bring on the robo-umps. I'm ready. Then maybe we can put Henry behind the plate, and we can stop having this sort of thing. Because umpiring, right? It's been terrible. It's been terrible forever. It's just a fact of the game, but it's been really bad this year. The conspiracy side of me thinks is that they're saying, listen, just be lousy, make bad calls, and we'll give you guys all a raise when we go robo-ums or something.
So I think I was talking to Jim about this, and he brought up a good point that I don't know where he heard it from because he didn't come up with it himself, obviously, that there's an influx of new umpires now that really just haven't called balls and strikes ever because they're coming from the minors where they don't really call balls and strikes all that often anymore. And they're in their first year here.
That's a really good point. You're right. It's true. They've come up through the minors, these past couple of years. They haven't had to call balls and strikes, and it's one of those things that looks really easy until you've done it once, right? Imagine at this level, it's really hard with some of the movement on the ball that some of these guys have. But yeah, it's terrible. And now clearly they're not training them. They're not getting trained to do it. So you have these old guys who have always had their own strike zone anyway, who are terrible. And then the new guys who haven't been able to call it are terrible. And yeah, what you end up with is very poorly called strike zones game to game to game.
All right, that's enough on the show, I think, today. Had to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, I guess to continue talking a little bit about the future of umpires, you mentioned Henry Davis and how awful he really has been all year in right field. Another misplay today. There's a possibility he does end up behind the plate if the robo-umps come. At this point, Doug, I don't know what they're going to do with him defensively. If things remain status quo here, he's so bad in right field.
It's terrible. I was on the Pirate Fan Forum 100 episode deal they had Thursday, and I brought up Henry Davis. And I think what's happening here is that, he's a proud kid. He's a hard worker. And the Pirates have put him in a position to fail. And I think first thing they did was announce to the world, he can't catch. Part of his identity, I think his entire life has been, I'm the catcher. I'm sort of the captain. I'm the heartbeat of the team. And suddenly we've come up and said, he can't catch. He can't even catch for an inning. He can't catch in a lost season. He can't catch. Now we're going to put him in right field where he's never played. And he seems, my God, the ball finds you. If it was ever any doubt, that there's truth to that, Henry Davis is the shining example. And so now I think he's internalizing it. I think he's tentative and he's unsure.
Yep.
And right, it's making it harder on himself in both the field and at the plate. Man, we need Bill Verdon back. Bill Verdon, was a guy that could turn, really had these tough, was, infamous for these really demanding drills for outfielders. We need to get this guy, his own outfield coach. And they're not going to let him catch. Stop working on catching on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Start shagging balls. Start taking stuff off the wall. Start, coming in on balls. Start, that sort of thing. Because he just seems lost. And we've all said it on this show many, many times. It's not his fault. The Pirates have put him in position to fail. But yeah, if they don't put him through some sort of outfield school this entire offseason, and they're just doing wrong by him and by the team.
Yep. Yeah, it's nothing against Davis. I still like him a lot as a player, but I think you hit the nail on the head. He looks very unsure out there. He's thinking way too much and not reacting anymore. When he first came up and was in right field, he was just going after every ball.
Right. Yeah.
Didn't matter. He had blinders on. He was going. Right now, you can see uncertainty of whether he should come in on a ball, go back on a ball, if it's even his ball. Does he play it off the wall? There's just a lot of hesitation with him at this point, I think, out there. And really, I think we're seeing a lot of it start to bleed him into his plate appearances as well. He doesn't look like the aggressive type of kid we saw when he first came up. Although today, I think he's kind of coming around a little more at the plate. He just missed a home run today. Granted, that doesn't mean anything. No, but he's starting to barrel the ball up a little more, I think, than we saw there for a little while. I think he's going to be okay at the plate. It's just you got to figure something out in the field.
I love this sunshiny aspect of you. Yesterday I saw a tweet from you that I could have sworn was from Ron Bunter. So, what's your next tweet? Tamar Johnson will start the season at second base next year and we're going to the World Series.
Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens is probably going to start, on August 31st. He's not even going to get up here before the September columns. But it's a classic crisis of confidence thing going on with Davis. He still looks like he's going to be a really good hitter to me. But that might just be hopeful optimism, but the kid, he can hit. I don't know where else you play him. Again, they don't think he can catch, and Andy looks like a pretty decent catcher at this point. DeLay looks like a nice backup catcher at this point. They're going to sign Carlos Santana next year, so he's not going to be playing first base. And where else? That's it. And Kutch is coming back, so he may get some at bats at DH, but not a lot. It's right field, and I'm confident he is a hard worker, and he's notoriously demanding of himself. So hopefully he'll just put the work in and make some improvement. And just again, get away from this, get his confidence back. And I think we can, like I said, there's a lot of hope for Henry Davis. I mean, I think he could be a decent and adequate right fielder. I mean, I don't think he's going to stack up some gold gloves, but we've seen his arm already has impacted the game without even making the throw. That Phillies series with, Bryce Harper, he created that double play because he had thrown Bryce Harper out at second the night before. So he's got some assets there. He's got some athleticism. But man, did the Pirates put him in a bad spot.
Yeah. He just needs to get to a point where he's just slightly below average. That's it.
This is beginning to sound like the Brian Hayes. If he could just be an average right fielder.
Like, honestly, we just need him to be slightly below average right fielder because the bat has to play no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's enough Davis talk. Other than that, Brian Reynolds had 2 hits. Everyone else sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody else looked like it was their first game in the big leagues.
Yeah, and doesn't help that balls were getting called 4 inches off the plate. But either way, the balls, anything in the zone, nothing was hit hard. Just really bad at bats today.
No, at some point you have to make the adjustment. It was obvious how this guy was calling. You knew some of this stuff was going to be called strikes. So you needed to be a little more aggressive. You needed to swing at stuff a little off the plate and see if you could just do anything with it. You weren't going to get walked.
No. And the only person we really saw do that was Brian Reynolds. He's the only one that adjusted and was swinging at the pitch off the plate. And he had 2 hits today.
Brian Reynolds is back. Right.
Yes.
So.
Thank God.
Yes, I know. And we did not need to go in the offseason wondering about Brian Reynolds on top of all the other many questions we have.
So, I mean, that's really all to talk about with the bats today. I don't want to beat them to death because they were all bad.
Right.
All right, let's talk about it. Ryan Borucki got a start.
2 perfect inning, Ryan Borucki.
Yep.
You're going to have to just wrap your arms around him before long. You're just going to have to embrace him. He is the king.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand how this guy gets outs. He's not good.
I think we had this conversation about Moretta at the beginning of
at least Moretta throws 95.
Right.
Borucki's bad.
Yeah,
but I mean, honestly, he is getting outs right now. He's one of their more reliable bullpen arms.
He really is. He's one of the better pitchers on the team right now, results wise. It's exactly how he's doing it is. I don't understand it either. He does not look. He looks like the classic quad A guy, like that. It's like, all right, he can. He looks sort of average at AAA. You pull him up in a. Jared Eichhoff, you bring him up in a pinch and he gives up 9 runs in the first inning, but that's not what's happening. It's not, it's remarkable. I don't know. Jim Rosati says he throws 94 from the left side with a nasty sweeper and he throws strikes. So, no other authority than Jim Rosati. So you've already cited him once in the episode.
He's bad, dude. I don't get it. But hey, I'm not complaining here. I'm really not. Thank God somebody in this bullpen can get outs right now.
Right.
I'm happy with that. I just don't see this as a long-term thing. He's going to turn into a pumpkin soon. They all do. I just don't understand it right now. Not complaining, but today he looked really good.
Yeah. And he's going to have lots of opportunity with this team and this bullpen.
And the thing is,
it looks like it could be good. You keep looking at these different guys and think, all right, again, at Beto and Hatch and Andre Jackson and Moretta and Perdomo, it looks like there's a potentially good bullpen in there somehow, but we can't ever seem to get 3 of them pitching well at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's almost at the point right now where you kind of want to stretch Borucki out because they need innings.
Yeah.
And they need starting pitching.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Listen, Keller is a 6-inning pitcher now. So we don't have anybody that's coming in and saving the bullpen. We don't have an innings eater per se. And we're going to basically it's 2 bullpen games, every time through the rotation. So yeah, we need him and the Andre Jackson and the Hatch to give us 3-4 innings at a pop if we can get it. And Beto, throw Beto in there with that too. But he seems to
It's
give up
three
a run
bullpen.
an inning now.
They have 3 bullpen games in a 5-man rotation right now.
Yeah.
They really don't have
Right.
3 starters.
Yeah, and then like I said, and then you have Keller and Oviedo who are going 6.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're still having to get 3 innings out of the bullpen in their games as well.
But regardless, I mean, the pitching looked good today. They got the job done. Gave up 2 runs to the Twins. You can't really ask for much more than that. And
yeah,
Beto looked fine, I think, for 3 1/3. Did end up giving up 2 runs. I think one was given up by Hernandez, but one of them inherited runners deals. He looked fine. He's a middle reliever type for me. Doesn't really jump off the page, but
when your staff gives up 2 runs, they're supposed to win the game. I mean, it's that simple. So
really, yeah, we can sit here and try to break it down and dissect.
Yeah, we could.
They didn't score runs.
Right. I mean, this is squarely, firmly on the shoulders of the offense or lack of offense.
Aside from that, did want to touch quickly on Colin Selby. I kind of like the guy, Doug. I like the stuff.
It's right. He's not as productive as Ryan Barucki, but he didn't strike out the side today. I know it's, we get the stuff does look good, but I've heard you say many times that every bullpen has a guy or two like Colin Selby. But yeah, I mean, he looked good today.
Yeah. So the word of the day of intrigue gets thrown around from me. I am intrigued by Colin Selby. I'll just continue the optimism here.
How do we not have a North Shore 9 shirt that does not say, "Are you not intrigued?" That's what intrigues me.
Aside from that, anything else you want to touch on, Doug?
There is not much. I mean, this was a nothing game, right? 2 hits from Brian Reynolds, a decent outing from the pitching staff. It was hard to stay awake for this game. Right. It was hard to stay awake for this game.
The only positive is that it moved.
Yeah.
Hey, for being a bullpen game, it was quick.
It moved along quickly, right? And we get the Cardinals tomorrow. So
yeah. So we'll be back with you tomorrow. Pirates start their series with the Cardinals. That ends the Twins series. Pirates lose it 2-0. I don't want to talk about Barucki anymore, so let's get out of here, Doug.
All right, buddy.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.